Greetings to our wonderful viewers and listeners, and we warmly welcome you to our JumpStart Moment. Today is Wednesday, 8th June 2022, and you'll be hearing firsthand from our participants in the current cohort of our JumpStart Incubator program, who will be sharing their experiences and learnings thus far. But before that, let me share what JumpStart is all about. YBTT's JumpStart Incubator program assists persons in starting or growing an early stage business through a combined approach of theory and practical knowledge. It comprises 10 weeks of training and group mentorship with an additional 2 months of optional one-on-one mentoring. The entire program is delivered virtually and wonderfully. But before introducing you all to our jump starters, let me invite our general manager, Shedron Collins, to say a few words.
Thank you, Sanj, and good afternoon, Facebook. And as we always say, it's time to jumpstart it, right? So, I mean, the whole point of Jumpstart is really empowering young persons, like YBTT's mission says, right? Empowering young persons who either at that idea phase or the cusp of that idea phase, or who just started and looking at building their businesses from there. So back in with the wonderful training that we have and the curriculum that we've developed that is regionally in terms of develop with Youth Business Caribbean, also with our mentorship support, and back in with the, we have Jonathan on the tech side. So all those combination of things go into Jumpstart, and especially from the donors standpoint as well. And we must thank the donors that we have for this cohort of Jumpstart that have empowered us to empower the young persons to develop their businesses from there. So back to you, Sanj, and I'll be joining and asking some questions as well. I have, like I told them before, I have all the Jumpstart questions that we hope that they will get right. Back to you, Sanj.
Thank you, Shed. So our esteemed Jumpstarters, this afternoon we have Patrina Modest and we have Cheryl Joseph. We should be joined shortly by Janessa Harry. So let's get right into it. And Cheryl, I know you said you mean business. So let's get right into it. What influenced you to get into Jumpstart, to be part of this Jumpstart experience?
Well, I have been doing business for a couple of years now, and realizing that I'm not going anywhere. I'm working very hard. I'm doing all that I think that I know is the right thing to do. But I'm just not seeing the fruit of my hard work. I always saying you need to work hard. But then you also know too, you should be working smart and not really hard. So I wanted to really know how to work smart to get my business life really going forward. I work at a 8-to-4 job, but I want to have that freedom to be my own boss, be a manager, run a company, create jobs for people out here, give back something to Trinidad and Tobago, the community that brought me up. So that is why I got into JumpStart.
Right, so let's talk, and you are in the current cohort, so let's talk about some of the business wrongs that were put right as a result of you being part of the JumpStart experience.
Right, so so one of the business ideas I had was I wanted to go into a security company.
Okay.
So I was going forward with that, thinking everything was going right. And JumpStart on the ad JumpStart had the flyer. Some of the questions asked there was, is this the right business for me? Am I making the right decisions and things like that? And those things captured me, right? So coming into this program now and going through the process of JumpStart, I end up changing my entire business because realizing that, hey, that was the right business for me. I thought it was the right business for me. But through my stock taking profile, through my affordable losses and things like that, I realized that it wasn't right for me. And it enabled me now to get quickly into another field that I also am interested in agriculture, through agro-processing. I was quickly able to get myself into that field because I already get the knowledge of how to build a business and stuff like that through JumpStart. Then doing market research and things like that, also a tool I learned through the JumpStart, I was able to change that new venture now from one part of it, what I thought would have been more feasible. And through getting response through doing surveys, I understand, hey, it's another direction. So it kept changing, and now I'm able to make more logical decisions to go forward with my business.
So, Sharuk, thank God for JumpStart, eh?
Yeah, thank God. Thank God indeed.
So we welcome Janessa.
JumpStart. JumpStart is not just only for business alone. No. One of the main things from JumpStart I learned is about value propositions, right? So creating value for yourself, creating value for your business. And JumpStart could work in your marital life, in your social life as well. I could create value for myself, for my wife, and make my wife appreciate me
I
even
love
more.
that.
So yes, JumpStart is very holistic. I thank God for it.
I love that. So we welcome Janessa Harry. But before going to Janessa, Patrina has been smiling throughout your discourse, Sharuk. Let me hear what
Good afternoon, everyone.
How she became part of this current cohort of JumpStart.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you. Well, I became part of JumpStart. I think I saw the ad on Facebook and I found it very interesting because I presently have a business, a registered business, right? Mother Sensations. And I thought that while I know some aspects of it, I want to become a full-time entrepreneur. And I believe that knowledge is key, knowledge is power. And I don't know it all in terms of running a business. So I saw that the schedule and the information provided in this YBTT course, it intrigued me. And when Jonathan called me and explained in detail exactly what courses and what they have in store for us, it sold me. I was getting trouble to sign up, and I keep telling them, my son again through, and he say, okay, well, try this, and we end up getting through into the payment, and I was so happy and glad. And throughout the process, it has taught me a lot.
Great. Sherry wanted to jump in before I bring in Janessa.
Nothing. I mean, it's just I hear them quoting some JumpStart words. I know the listeners.
Yes.
So that is always good to hear. And when we started development of the curriculum for JumpStart, that was 4 years ago, 2018. All right. Even before that, one of the key aspects of JumpStart is that, 2017, yes, Jonathan. One of the key aspects that we looked at JumpStart is that let's focus on building the entrepreneur and developing the person, right? And then we will look at the business. Because one of the beliefs that we had is that, especially for your first business, it might fail, and that's okay, and it may not be the right business that you start. But what we want to develop is the individual and help them develop that skill so that if you're looking at your first business, your second business, your third business, from there, you now become an entrepreneur, not just somebody who runs a business. And that's the development and the skill that we look at. So how do we develop that person first, and then we will see about the business after.
Great. Thanks, Shed. Let me bring Janessa in to tell us why she felt it necessary to become part of this JumpStart cohort.
Hi, guys. Good afternoon. So I felt it necessary to become part of JumpStart because, as a budding entrepreneur, I would say budding because I have attempted my both businesses in different ways, just from my knowledge, for let's say 2 to 3 years. And when I was finishing OJT, because I was in the program and in the exit seminar, that's where I heard about the JumpStart, right? Mr. Shadran had done a presentation and I fell in love with the presentation. I was like, these people know what they're doing. I need to know what I'm doing. I'm going to jump on board with them. And, since coming into the program is more than I bargained for, honestly. I would think, okay, yes, I want some direction. I want to know how to put my ideas out there in a different way. Because, my business being one of my businesses being focused on cold press juices, I needed to know how to navigate that new market. And in JumpStart program, they more than give us all the hand tools that we need to do that and more, where we can now even take it upon ourselves to help others along the way. And yeah, so that's why I jumped in, and I don't regret it at all.
From what you all have shared so far, what I'm sensing is JumpStart brought structure and purpose to your entrepreneurial journey. Patrina, you were smiling.
I totally agree with that. It's somewhat streamlined exactly the road to take and the methods to take it, the steps to take it, and to not be afraid to take a step, to not be afraid to lose, because we think that we have to get everything right and right one time, but that is not the case with entrepreneurship and owning a business or getting into a business venture.
Would you all also say or agree with me that, I know it's so, but I'm asking you all, that the JumpStart program helps you to understand the importance of risk in business?
Yes, it does. It helps us
Definitely.
to understand what risks to take, how to take it, and necessary risk.
Thanks, Patrina. Sharab, you are agreeing.
Yes, definitely, because that
Yes.
directly applied to me. In terms of, like I said, the first business, I realized that some of the risks that I would take and would have been too great, and I could end up with a loss that I would not have been able to afford. So yes, it definitely helped with that. And now, my life is more. Before I used to be very busy, a very busy person, but not getting anywhere. Now I am busy the same way, but I'm actually feeling like I'm progressing into something.
Because you're working smart, not hard.
Working smart, not
And
hard.
they say there's a difference between being busy and being productive as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, so now I'm productive. I'm not just
Yes, Janessa, you're talking about
Definitely.
risk and how that JumpStart has helped you to understand the importance of risk.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with Cherub there because cold press juices are not the cheapest thing to produce, especially when you can't just rest and wait for a sale. Like Patrina does her scented candles and other stuff. She can make that and put it there, but if I don't get a sale, this is money wasted because these products is going to perish. And for a long time, it was hard for me to survive off of one sales. And now you're learning how to market, where to market, those different strategies, and in terms of your planning and your budgeting, then to narrow your ideas down versus trying to grab at everything all at once. All of that really helped a lot into knowing how to reduce the risk of doing too much. That was my thing, doing too much too soon. I was kind of jumping all over the place because some people wanted one thing and some other people wanted another thing. But I needed to just kind of like master a couple products and sit with it and have the patience to see it through before trying to expand. So definitely the knowledge on that was needed, and I appreciate it.
Sharab, I want you all to, and starting with you, I want you to pull out for me from JumpStart two very critical pieces of learnings that you feel that you can't do without right now. You can't do without in terms of further success of your business, moving forward, getting into the ecosystem. Let's talk about that. Two important learnings I needed to share for us.
Okay, two important learnings. One, definitely that you are in business for the customer, not for yourself, right? Before I would have an idea and I would think to myself that, no, this is the best idea. This is going to work for sure. And people will definitely buy into this. And yes, it's going to work because it makes sense. But that is just my perspective. That is just how I see it. So one of the important things I have learned is that you are in business for yourself, so that will help you in terms of marketing, and you use that research now to make your decisions. Also, do not be afraid to fail. Failure is part of your journey to success. Anytime you're afraid to fail, then you wouldn't reach anywhere. The quotation that says that a ship is very safe in the harbor, but it wasn't built for that. It was built for rough seas, to go out there and go on rough seas. So I realize that in all of us, we have that grit in us, we have that power in us to go out there into rough seas and to really tug it out there, right? We just have to be guided. We have to have sails. We have to have a pilot. We have to be wary of that monkey that he spoke about, that monkey that can help you procrastinate, but but we could go out there and make more guided decisions now.
And in this moment, Sherab, JumpStart is your pilot, would be your pilot as you navigate to get into the ecosystem, yeah?
Definitely.
Katrina, two learnings for me that you can't do without if you intend to succeed in entrepreneurship.
Before I tell you those two learnings, right? I felt attacked when Sherab said about the monkey, right? I felt that he was literally throwing that for me, but I would deal with him on another time.
Another place.
Yes. But two learnings that I definitely cannot do without at this point is my value proposition in terms of what my customers require, the jobs that they need from my products. I definitely cannot do it without that at this point, because it helps me to serve them better. And that is exactly what I want to do. That is exactly what my products are geared to do. So learning from them would definitely help me as an individual and help the business to grow. The second thing that I can't do without is definitely the cost factor and the resources that they had us do for the business model canvas in terms of the revenue streams and how, you're in the business for the customers, but you're also in it to support yourself, to do it for the long term, full time. So to help the business to be sustainable.
Don't be afraid to say it to make money.
No, it is to make money, right? And before, I really and truly, it was not about that for me. It was more satisfying the customers and give them that sense of comfort and pleasure and leisure. But I also understand that it comes at a cost, and it is not to be just set aside, right? You have to put all the factors into play and able to be successful, so your customers will be happy as well as yourself. So you get two sense of pleasure, making the money, but also getting that value to your customers. That is something really, really important. And I honestly cannot go forward without those two things: knowing exactly what the customer wants and delivering it to them, also knowing how to streamline the avenues for the different types of revenue.
I love your honesty and passion, just sharing your JumpStart experiences. And let me hear from Janessa, her two learnings that you can't move forward without.
Okay, so two learnings that I definitely cannot move forward without. As Katrina was talking about the value proposition, for me is the customer segment. I wanted everybody to experience my products so badly that I wasn't taking into consideration how to be strategic in who I marketed to. And now I am humble enough to redirect my sales and to be okay. I'm from Point Fortin, and if it is harder for me to get sales in Point Fortin and I have to go outside and come back or change the types of juice I sell as regularly, and then that is fine. In time to come, more people will experience it. But for right now, I need to, concentrate on what works versus what I want to work and how I want it to work. Another thing that I definitely could not do without is the aspect. I thought I was good at that. Like I honestly did, because I have been trying my hand at my business, being relentless, sorry. But it's like I realized no, that's not it. So when they tell us it's okay to go back to the drawing board and like how to do over your whole map, I'm like, oh, okay. Now I am more flexible to say this didn't work. I have no point to prove. Family, friends, whoever ask questions, that is fine. Answer them accordingly or ignore it altogether and just push forward into what actually works. So being flexible and knowing my customer segment, those are two things I cannot move forward without. And just understanding the detail that go into it, like the detail that actually matter. Taking, like I think Sheriff and Katrina would have said the same thing, taking yourself out of the equation basically and catering to the customer. Yes, you have your thing, this is your baby, this is your passion, but when you take yourself out of it a little bit, then you would know exactly how everybody would enjoy this versus you just sitting there struggling.
Great. So folks, we have other young persons looking on. We also have prospective donors who we'd like to get on board with JumpStart, because when they get on board, we could do more training, we could get more JumpStarters going. So let me start with Cherub to tell the audience why it is important, one, to get donors on board, donors to come and support us, and two, why other young persons should be part of the experience if they intend to succeed in the entrepreneurial realm.
I mean, I'll answer your second question first. Like I was telling Jonathan Khan, I said, Jonathan, I should have left school and do YBTT course. I find this is the pillar, this is the foundation for anyone who would like to go into business. It is the blueprint. It is the blueprint for business. If you're not doing these things, which when you do research, you realize all the big companies in the world using these models that JumpStart right here in Toronto are using, you realize that yes, it is a pillar, a piece of the foundation in the road to success, right? So that's what I would tell the youths. In case of the donors, Trinidad and Tobago has so much of potential. Trinidad and Tobago have so much of great minds. And if these minds are not channeled in the right direction, how will we build our country? Giving youths an opportunity to be a part of this JumpStart program here is going to have an effect on this country in some years to come. We can't think short term. As long as we think long term, we will see this country could develop and we could put Trinidad on the map. We could put Trinidad and Tobago on the map for the world. So don't just think about something today and to make $1 today, but you will be building the economy, building youths, building lives.
And of course, let me add to that, you would also be helping with unemployment. We have a lot of young persons who have been retrenched, who have been displaced as a result of COVID and other factors. So
as we speak, there are long lines by I think it's SAPA right now for this cruise ship employment.
The Royal Caribbean, right.
And plenty of these persons has the brain capacity to be in this JumpStart course. This course is so like the simplest mind can understand it, the way it is broken down to us. So you don't have to be no smart person. I wasn't a smart, quote unquote, person to be here. You just have to be here, just show up.
I did an interview with a JumpStarter from the 2020 cohort, and he told me, he said, Miss Sandrine, if I had met JumpStart before, if I had known about JumpStart before, I may not have done CSEC. Yeah, he said it's better than CSEC. Patrina, talk to the young persons who should come on board, talk to the donors to come and support the young persons.
Well, for somebody just coming out of UE doing a management course, the curriculum for this YBTT is on point for entrepreneurship. Listen, the tools that you all provide for us is amazing. Because even in my entrepreneurship course in UE, it was not this detailed, it was not this broken down, it was not this realistic, right? And I mean realistic. You all given us the real life scenarios, you all given us the ball by ball how-tos to do this thing. So it is not that, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to get your foot wet, right? YBTT have the tools, they have the resources, their coordinators are knowledgeable in this thing. It's real life thing we're dealing with, literally. So don't be afraid, and it is, for what you're getting is back for your money. It is definitely back for your money. And to the donors, I want you all to don't stop, to encourage, because the mindset coming up today is beyond, it is beyond what you all expect. The future generation definitely have what it takes to build Trinidad and Tobago to first world. Before it was just, wanting to work for somebody. That's what our parents and our parents' parents and parents' parents and parents' parents stuck to us. But as we grow and learn, and as the world evolves, so is the youths. And that is exactly what we're doing. We are evolving and realizing that a trade, that our mind and what we can do and pull together those resources, listen, that's out of the world. It is out of here.
Hours.
Sorry?
I can listen to you all for hours.
No, listen, because, and it's like, we realize that working for somebody is definitely not it. Or somewhat, let's say, going to get a degree in something, or, we applaud the doctors and the nurses and, all those skilled professionals, right? But we have seen where entrepreneurs are the ones to make this world evolve. And I believe that this YBTT course is it. It is how the structure of it, how it is laid down, the personal interaction, right? Virtually. The personal interaction that you get virtually, the knowledge and the understanding and the structure that the course takes is definitely the way to go.
Well said, Janessa.
Well,
Talk to the donors and the young person.
Everything, But however, there's always more to say, because listen, as she was saying, what you get is a bang for your buck. Like the donors, we appreciate you all and we thank you all, and we encourage more people to come on board, because what is so important. The fact that a lot of times young people would say, school, certain courses would be a certain amount of money per month or per semester and this and that. YBTT has this really great flat rate, and the information goes beyond. Because in my school for my degree, we do a lot of other courses, and I feel like YBTT touch on almost all of those general eds and electives, plus more, and the adversary sessions is like every week you're thinking you're comfortable again through. I feel like I know what's going on, and bam, they hit you with something else. Bam, they hit you with something else, and it's just and what I love is the age brackets. It's not a bunch of young people who just teaching young people, to know that the older folks are adapting, to show that, listen, somewhere along the line, people program us to believe that the young people are going to leave the older ones out, and that the world moving at a fast rate, and it's somehow going to be destructive to the societal structure, right? We have right now, the social structure, right? But we have, when the older folks teaching, we think that we know about social media, about branding. This is no young people our age that we now could relate to across the board. nobody's been left behind. So this is like a really good course for all age groups. And as well, like, I don't like the way that your mind expands. The way that your mind expands is really more than a bargain for. And another important thing, the networking. I believe this is something that this course will teach young people is a benefit and is not a threat. A lot of times we will feel like we don't want to tell people our idea, or we don't want to share too much with somebody who might be in a similar field or even different. And YBTT is teaching you healthy ways to network, safe ways to network, to do it in a way that is not just about me, it's not just about a product, it's about society. How can you benefit society apart from just selling something that will benefit somebody? But how are you now going to actually do something charitable, something with an NGO or some other program that you can now pass on your knowledge to those out there who may not have, received what you got through the program. And networking is important because no man is an island. And the more that we believe that we have to be so set apart and so different, that is when we bring problems into the market, So I really appreciate YBTT for the way that they are very gentle with the teaching as well. No man left behind. If you have an idea, you have an actual business, a failed business, at any point in your journey that you are, there is room at the table and there's room for growth, and everybody bounce off of everybody. So we as the students, as well as, the facilitators, the mentors, everybody bounce off. And it's such an enjoyable, to me, free space, because what we pay, it's free. It's an enjoyable free space that, young people and entrepreneurs, I won't say young people, like entrepreneurs should come on board, and the people who continue to donate to the cause, just continue building our society, because it's about building Trinidad and Tobago, expanding the mind. More than expanding the market, is about expanding the mind. And when the mindsets evolve, we would not just say John and Jane now have $10,000 versus $0. It's about the mindset, the uplifting of society, other alternatives to seeing youth develop. So, I mean, I could go on and on, but I think each of us went on and on. It's just an amazing program. Is anybody, like, just come on one, go on social media, look at when they're advertising, and just figure yourself out, sign up, and don't be left out.
Thank you, Janessa. Let me bring Shed in to share how young persons can get on board, and our donors as well. We need donors and we need participants to come on board.
I mean, there's a whole lot of things that goes into JumpStart, right? And Janessa, Reggie say you're looking for you. Say, I don't know what old people you're talking about. So let's let you know. I mean, and when we talk about JumpStart, I know when we think about the curriculum, it's about three things. First, you start off by knowing yourself, right? Knowing yourself, what is right for you, and like I'm sure I would have said, is this business right for you, right? So it's knowing yourself first. Then we talk about creating value, right? And I think we spoke about that as well. And then lastly, taking action, right? So when you have those three things combined into our training curriculum, it kind of helps from there, and facilitated by Pearl, Surin. Let me see if I can run down everybody who's involved that part of it, and you're not gonna let me know if I left out anybody, right? So Pearl and Surin doing the facilitation of the training coordination team. Then we have mentors such as Marlon, Stephanie, Donna Luisa, Iricia, Reggie, and then we had Luciana and Katrina helping out as well. And then we also had guest speakers, and I must commend the guest speakers as well. We didn't plan for them, so we cannot use what we call people's choice. Let us know who you want to hear from. And we spoke to Alpha Senan, Tamara Lon Louise, Sean Coffey, Namala talked about social entrepreneurship as well. Then we had people like Karen Rose, Natalie, Jared. We spoke about Greg from Eastern Credit Union. and then Laura from Korea as well. So we had a lot of people involved as part of the program. Then we also talk about the sponsors like Pure Gold Enterprise, Phoenix Park Gas Processing, the National Gas Company, the E-Zone, the National Enterprise Limited, and the Caribbean Development Bank, who's kind of been supporting JumpStart for the last 5 cohorts, right? So I think when you have all those people involved, you can't help but come up with something great, right? I think that is the most important. And it's always room and open for more persons to get involved. If you're on the live, we would have dropped the link to sign up for the next cohort. So next cohort coming soon. So you could be a jump starter as well, right? And we talk about networking. So even when we finish this cohort, we're adding it to the JumpStart alumni group, which is a larger group of persons and Jonathan was correcting with some 2017, we had JumpStart going on. So you're adding yourself to those persons who would have been part of it. I mean, you'll have met Lucky, who would have kind of given the intro speech in terms of her JumpStart experience from there. And so I'm saying all of this to show that it's a lot of hands going into the pot. And we can't forget like the team from YBTT as well, with Jonathan and Byron helping out and supporting in that aspect. So it's a lot of hands going into it, but it's a lot more hands needed. And I think that is important, right? So as we talk about JumpStart is about starting a business, but on a larger scale, YBTT is here to see how we can reduce unemployment, turn those job seekers into job creators, as we always say, right? How can we change your mind? And it might even just be about starting a business, but how could we give you the opportunity to think about it and change your mindset? Even if you want to use the value proposition to kind of figure out what value you're giving to your wife, right? but we can do all those things and focus not just on building the business. How could we create entrepreneurs, right? So people who are thinking about business, seeing opportunities. You're walking down the road and every little thing that somebody might be seeing a problem, but you're seeing a solution to it. And that is really what we want to create through IBTT and through the support of all the persons involved.
Thank you, Shed. So we have come to the end of what I would say was a very interesting conversation. Beyond interesting, I mean, we could go on, but we need to wrap now. And on behalf of YBTT, we want to wish you all success in your entrepreneurial journey. Keep jump starting and be the best that you can be. Thank you so much. Let me also thank our training officer, Jonathan Khan, for excellent tech support. So bye for now.
And before we go, we give them the JumpStart test, right? So it's been real. It's been nice.
It's been real nice.
Real nice.
All right.
All right. Bye.